Hello. In the first video on this channel I proposed alternative postulates for special relativity. Link to that video is in the upper right corner now. Please watch it first. Today I'm going to show why these postulates describe the reality we observe much better than the existing postulates of special relativity. Just to remind you, the main differences between Einstein's special relativity and my own postulates are that Einstein's special relativity states that the speed of light does not depend on the speed of source and the speed of observer. My own postulates say that the speed of light does not depend on the speed of source only. Also, I postulate existence of absolute frame of reference and absolute time. Please watch that video if you need more details. Let's assume that the light source emits light as a sequence of short impulses in all directions, and therefore we observe a sequence of spheres. The source is always at the center of every sphere. Let's compare how special relativity and my own postulates describe the behavior of light emitted by moving source. According to Einstein's special relativity and according to current scientific consensus, light has wave properties. And therefore for observer at rest that observes the moving source it should look like a wave on the surface of water. Light would look as a sequence of spheres, and the center of each sphere is wherever it was emitted. You will see animation like this in every video about relativity. At least I saw it in every video. Let's call this model of light emission A. According to my own postulates, the speed of light does not depend on the speed of source only. So the sequence of spheres should look like this. The moving source is always at the center of every sphere. Let's call this model B. How can we check which model fits observations better? I think we can do that using astrophysical jets. Astrophysical jets are powerful flows of matter moving in one direction through space. Physicists say that the sources of such flows are the giant black holes located in galaxy centers. Important to note that matter in those jets moves really fast. The most famous astrophysical jet is on the screen now. What we can say about this jet? We can say that we see it. It means that light is emitted in our direction by this jet. Okay. We can see that it starts from a galaxy that is not even visible to us, moves through space emitting light in our direction and then disappears. But why does it disappear? Probably because it does not emit light in our direction anymore. But why? Let's compare light with a sound wave. Imagine that flying plane passes you. Plane creates sound waves and they propagate just the way described in our model A. So, is it possible that you don't hear the plane that passes you in its nearest position to you because plane is too fast? No, you will hear it. There can be different effects like sonic boom or Doppler effect, but you will definitely hear the plane if you can hear it at all. Waves created by plane when it's in the nearest position to you will reach you. It cannot happen that you hear the plane only when it's in front of you. So if light is a wave and propagates according to the model A, why we don't see the astrophysical jet passing us? Why it disappears? We should see it just the way we hear the passing plane. We should even see it moving away from us as we hear the plane that moves away. The fact that we don't see it proves that light is not emitted according to the model A. Let's launch the algorithmic models. Model A. As you can see, spheres emitted according to the model A are reaching the observer from any point. So observer should get those photons and observe the jet as some kind of line. Model B. As you can see, observer will get the light from the beam only if observer is in the light cone and will see only part of the jet, just as it happens in reality. So per my assumption we don't observe the jet because the light emitted by it is emitted only within specific angle, and that angle depends on the speed of the matter of the jet. In the first video on this channel I provided the formulas of the light cone angle depending on the speed of source. Those formulas can be checked in experiment. This would also explain why we don't observe the jets of our own galaxy, for example. Or why we don't observe the opposite part of the jet emitted in the opposite direction for the discussed jet. Those jets just do not emit light in our direction. And we don't see them as a result. I'm not sure if you've understood this video, maybe I don't explain everything clear enough. But as I see it, this video shows that there are alternative postulates for special relativity that explain the reality we observe much better than the Einstein's special relativity. To say the truth, I don't even see how special relativity actually uses this strange postulate that the speed of light does not depend on the speed of observer. Time dilation, relativistic effects, they are about source, not about observer. Also, there are no any experiments that show that the speed of light does not depend on the speed of observer. Ask anyone, which experiment proves it. Most probably they will answer that it's Michelson-Morley experiment. But it does not prove anything but the fact that the speed of light does not depend on the speed of source. I explained it in my another video. Link to that video is in the upper right corner now. You might wonder, how exactly light can move slower than c if Maxwell's equations include only one speed c? Well, I can answer. Did you see any rest mass in Maxwell's equations? No, you did not. Because Maxwell's equations are not about light or electromagnetic radiation. They are about all matter and energy. All matter moves with momentary speed c per my assumptions. Rest mass just moves in cycles without changing position. I had a video on that. You can review it if you want. Link to that video is in the upper right corner now. So to answer your question, how photon can have speed that is lower than c? Photon can have lower speed if it has rest mass. Rest mass can slow photon down because it makes photon lose time for cyclic motion. The same pattern from the Model B we observe for the cosmic rays passing through Earth atmosphere, for the synchrotron emission and for the Cherenkov emission as well. Which physical phenomena works according to the Model A? If you know, please show me. Actually, for Cherenkov emission, scientists have applied the Model A as explanation, but I'm not sure what exactly it explains. I think better explanation can be provided. In short, Cherenkov emission is produced by fast matter moving away from nuclear reactor. You can see it on the screen now. It's the blue light over and around the edge of the reactor. I will not provide scientific explanation as I don't understand how it explains anything. But here is an algorithmic model similar to our Model B above. As you can see, fast-moving matter emits light only within a light cone. The angle of the cone depends on the speed of the matter. As a result, observer can get light only if observer is within the light cone. For every specific direction there is specific light cone, and we observe the light from all light cones that we are within. That gives us the blue edge around the reactor. What was really hard for me to understand is how so many physicists could believe in something that has no evidence for more than 100 years. How they managed to ignore all the paradoxes that the strange postulate creates? All those paradoxes were discussed for centuries, but the postulate is still here. How much wishful thinking one needs to accept something that just cannot work? It looks for me almost like the Emperor's New Clothes folktale. Actually, now I think I understand. I believe that every human is a wishful thinker. Every human, including me and you. It's the way we work. Maybe I just have to tell you this, guys, the king is naked. I don't know how much times I will have to tell that. Thousands? Millions? Will I ever be listened to? Does that matter? Anyway, the king is definitely naked. There is no evidence to believe that the speed of light does not depend on the speed of observer. All evidence you have is only about the speed of source. There is no any evidence to believe that this universe has no absolute time and absolute space. In fact, in one of my future videos I will show you how the absolute movement of Earth actually affects our everyday life. How it causes the high tidal waves far from equator. Thank you for your attention.